Every conversation starts with a cup of coffee. Welcome to the Operation Coffee Podcast. Welcome to the first solo episode of the Operation Coffee Podcast. I am Sam Floyd. I am the owner and operator of Operation Coffee. This particular episode, we're going to just speak about why we started the business. And I'm going to talk about one particular story in general that really motivated me to keep on going on what I'm doing. So it was 2017, and so I was just let go, or my company went under. I was living in Madison, Wisconsin, and I was actually fixing grinder sewage pumps. Honestly, it was a good job. It was disgusting, but you pull the pump out of the pit and you get over like the disgustingness for a little bit, and then you get to hose it down right away. I always say it was kind of like working on a car. I mean, it's all mechanical. You just turn wrenches. A very disgusting car, but you power wash it and then you sanitize it, you use gloves. It's really not that big a deal. And I was pretty content with that. That was 2016 I started. I believe the years are a little funky, but it was 2016, I think, is when I first started that company. And then 2017 is when the company went under for various reasons that I don't need to get into right now, but it just didn't work out. So it was my company just went under. I just bought a house like a couple months prior to that. So I was pretty stable in this job. I was making decent money. And it kind of just all went under. So I was in a really weird spot. I just remember it was like in May timeframe, because I always remember this because it was around Memorial Day, because that particular week was pretty hard for me. Just remembering a lot of stuff Memorial Day brings. So I just lost my job. Wasn't sure what I was going to do. I was just kind of out there, and I just remember just thinking, what am I going to do? So then that's when, if you watched the Today Show that I was on, I kind of tell the story about this, but I had a case manager at the time with the Semper Fi Fund, and her name was Sue Baker. And she asked me what I like to do. And honestly, I had like a cup of coffee in my hand, just like this. And I was, I said sarcastically, like, I really like to drink coffee, because at that time, like, I didn't like to do anything. I didn't like to go out. I was just in one of those spots in my life where it was just tough and just going through stuff. So I said, I really like coffee. She's like, well, do something with that. And then I proceeded I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Then I just proceeded to do some research on it, and I'm like, I think I could do this. So I went out and bought a popcorn popper from Goodwill, and just kind of proceeded from there. So then that kind of leads me to what I want to talk about today, and kind of like, so this is 2017. I knew I wanted to do something in coffee, and I was so lost, right? So I just thought there was more to life. There is more to life than what's going on. I am just in a rough spot. I don't know what to do. Like I got out 10 years prior from the Marine Corps, just in these lost. I did a lot of different things, right? I got married and divorced, and just a lot. I moved from Arizona back to Wisconsin. I just broke up with my girlfriend at the time. Like it was just a weird time. I just didn't feel like myself quite a bit at all. So then I started like keep on talking to like my friend that or Sue that was with the fund, and then there was another service member, like veteran lead with the fund, and he recommended like me going out and like basically going to this camp, which was in the Semper Fi Odyssey, it's called. This is in the hills of Pennsylvania. And that's where I met General Jones. Mr. Brigadier General Tom Jones, he's a big influence in my life. And then I also met a man named Mark Volker. I still talk to Mark to this day. And he is a big mentor of mine, and we just talk back and forth to each other. We've developed a really, really cool relationship. And I'm just so thankful for them. But in this course, it was a week-long immersion course. It was a week-long immersion course of just how to be a normal person, for the lack of better terms. There was a lot of people there that were injured. A lot of people there that from various services and different, how their injuries were just different. Everybody was different. But there's two people that I met there, Mark, and actually that I really connect with, Mark. And then there's a guy named Duke that we connected really well. He's a good guy. He's down in Florida, I believe now, doing some fishing stuff. I think at Tango Down Fishing, I think his name. But he's a really good guy. I met him. And then there was this, I don't remember this guy's name, but I think he was the biggest impact of this whole trip. So I had this idea of starting to roast coffee, and I was just like, man, I just really want to talk over coffee. I just didn't really know what that looked like, right? I just don't. I just want to talk to people about what's going on in my head and what's going on. I don't know, and it was just so challenging to talk about stuff, right? So I had that idea going into this camp, and then something happened I'll never forget, and it's kind of molded what Operation Coffee is. There was a guy there, and he just received word that his friend ended his own life. And I'm just picturing his face right now, and just how emotional he was. And he was just so hurt by it. And I'll never forget what he said. He just was like, man, I just wish I could have been there to help. And who knows, right? Who knows if that would have helped or not? Usually people in that type of situation are hard to help at that time. But the memory of his face is ever ingrained into my memory. And that was one of the most, there are several, one of the most influential parts of Operation Coffee. As just that's what I need to do. I don't want people to, one, make the decision to end their own life, and two, I don't want the people that love that person to hurt like they did, like that gentleman did. He was hurting. He was hurting and just in so much pain. And if it were to happen, I never want it to happen, but if it were to happen, I guess it's better that he was there, right? Amongst all of us, that we could support him and help him through that situation. Because the initial shock of it was, I won't forget the table they were sitting at. I won't forget his face. I won't forget the people what happened. They all gave him a hug, and I banked that memory because it's so ingrained into what I'm trying to do. I understand mental health is just such a complex idea, complex thing for everybody, because everybody is different. Everybody's mental health journey is different. Everybody is just struggling with things. It's just so hard. I mean, it's hard. Life can get really hard when you're going through a lot. I mean, it could be going through something with your kids, or you have aging parents that you don't know what to do with, or just changes in life. I mean, it's just challenging. It's just challenging. And especially when, for me, from, coming home from the Marine Corps, like, I didn't know who I was. I just had a conversation with one of my friends today, actually. And we had a really good conversation about like how when we get out, we try so hard not to get in, or how we get out, we try so hard to like forget that memory, the Marine Corps. I don't know if it's like service members in general, but the Marine Corps, the Marines especially that I know, like they don't want anything to do with their service when they get out. I didn't. Like I barely told people that I was in the Marine Corps. I don't know if we're just looking for a sort of different life, or we just want to try to think that we forgot all this stuff that we learned. And I don't know. I mean, that's something that we're working through. I'm sure somebody has an answer out there, but it's something that we're working through together as society. And now, like, I'm just trying to focus, and I'm trying to remember what I did and be proud of it, but also move on and not be like have my identity in the Marine Corps. It's just because that's not who I am. Number one, I'm a child of God. I live for an audience of one, and that is God. I've tried other places. I've tried sobriety. I mean, I've tried drinking. I've tried drugs. Like, I mean, yeah, sure, temporary stuff, and it feels good in the moment. But man, it doesn't. As soon as I got sober, like, and it seems like everybody's getting sober nowadays, which is great. But also at the same time, like, it's just so like sober from everything. Weed, drinking. I don't even do Zyn anymore. I think my vice right now is sugar, which I'm just trying to cut back on that as well. But I'm just so thankful where I'm at. So I tell that story and I tell all these things as this is the type of deal. This is the type of situation that or the reason why I started Operation Coffee, but also I also want to start conversations. And so that's why the podcast, after 10 years, I was just so against starting a podcast, to be honest with you, because everybody has a podcast, everybody. And I was so against it for a long time, but like, I think recently, about a couple months ago, I was just like, God puts people into my life where I'm like, I think this is what I should be doing. I should be starting a podcast and having conversations. So I'm going to be doing some of these solo ones every once in a while, but I really just want to have conversations with veterans, non-veterans, veteran spouses, just everyday people, right? And also too, that people that bring some knowledge to the table. Everybody brings some sort of knowledge to the table. And so that's what I just want to highlight, those people. And also, like, I'm going to be here sharing my story, and the thoughts of the day, basically, or every once in a while, it'll be a solo episode. And just me just speaking from the heart. There's no script. Like, I'll maybe do a little bit of like, maybe what should I talk about today, and like, I'll probably just talk about, like, sometimes I'll be doing some demos of coffee, maybe. But this is, I just wanted to get an idea of, one, why I started Operation Coffee, and two, why I started a podcast, is just to have conversations. And also two, if I can help one person by listening to this podcast, or if somebody wants to reach out to me, or if it encourages people to reach out to somebody else, that's the goal. So with that, I'm just so thankful for you. And as I say as I learned from the Semper Fi Odyssey, three most just means the three most important words that you can say to somebody is I love you. So genuinely, I love you. Three most. And until next time, start that conversation. Thanks for listening to your Operation Coffee podcast. If you want a good cup of coffee or need more resources, please visit our website at operationcoffee.com.